Hey guys, welcome to Now Playing. I'm Nye, and this is the review of Space Pirates and Zombies. SPAZ, as it calls itself, is a rather simple game idea, combining top-down shooting with a level-up system, a squad-based combat system, and a Space Trader-esque Explore the Galaxy system that allows you to purchase new techs. Basically, you control your ship in basically a flat field, think asteroids. Keeps the inertia system for the most part. You shoot towards your mouse and shoot incoming enemies. Now, from there, add the ability to go to your hangar at any time and change the weapons and utilities on various hard points on your given ship, or, if you've collected enough data, use a different ship style. Now add the ability to get other ships to work with you, controlled by the AI, but able to be controlled through a tactical screen, which pauses the game temporarily so you can give orders, or simply doing direct control. From there, add a level-up system, where you increase the efficiency of your weapons, armor, and other minor abilities by killing enemies and researching their tech by means of a simple power-up collection. Season this with a materia options as you collect upgradable specialists, which will give you increased ability on your skills. And then let you jump from star to star in a procedurally generated galaxy where each star has factions to fight, missions to run, and bits of tech that you can use, all spread liberally throughout the galaxy. I'm going to start with the story this time, actually. SPAZ is not bad with it. The story is basically just a decent backstory to give you reasons to actually go do things. Nothing really more complicated than that. There's a twist, or more. I'm still working on beating it, so I'll get back to you on what the actual ending is going to look like. But it's more an excuse to actually do stuff than an actual, story. As for the controls, they're pretty simple. In spaceflight, move with the WASD keys. Use your mouse, left-clicking or right-clicking for various weapon groups to attack. And that's just about it for the actual combat. Now, by pressing space, anytime you can bring up the tactical panel so you can actually see the map itself, see your units, see the enemies, give commands, tell people to attack certain things, decide rules of engagement, repair ships. There's even some advanced combat techniques like venting all crew and changing how the shields are going to work. From here, you can also go into the hangar and actually change your ship, move weapons and everything around from various hard points depending on what type of weapon or ability they're using, rebuild your ship, change the hull to the various ones available, and change your backup ships. All very, very simple. Research is just one click, choose what you want, choose what level you want, use your points, and you're done. Basically, the game holds one click very, very well. As for moving around the galaxy, it is just as simple as that. When you go from your actual star movement, it's just a click, confirm that you're moving, and done. Same for galaxy movement. Now, as for the sound in the game, it's unremarkable at best. The music isn't particularly enjoyable, it's just there. It's background noise giving you something to listen to instead of silence. You're not going to remember it when you're done. Music also just sort of fits zombies. Fits the sort of thriller-style music. So, you're not really going to think about it later on. The actual sounds are okay. The ships move, you can hear their engines, but it's not as if we're talking about anything that's particularly loud or particularly interesting or unique. Lasers and bullets and missiles all have what sound like stock sounds. These aren't anything that you're really going to wow over. There's only one voiceover, and that's the narrator, and he's okay. He fits. He sounds sort of scientific. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. He fits the storyline. But again, nothing special. The sound, in general, is fairly stock. As for graphics, they're okay. If you look at the background, you can see that there is multiple layers to the background that do move independently, allowing you to have a shifting background that makes it look like you are actually moving fairly fast in space, even when, to you, you're moving pretty slow. There are, as you can see, lens flares that happen with the suns that will actually get canceled out by planets moving in front and causing various eclipses. As for the actual, lasers, bullets, things like that, you're talking about glowing dots and lines. We're not talking anything amazing here. For the ships themselves, they're not amazingly detailed, but they're just enough. You can see the ship, they have some cool things on them, the turrets rotate, there's flashing lights, all that sorts of stuff. So, there's detail. But don't expect things like Sins of the Solar Empire or Star Wars games, where you can actually see a lot of detail put in. We're talking about basically 2D sprites on a 2D background that just happens to have multiple layers to it. So, they fit the game. The ships fit the descriptions that are given. It does look like there's a variety of different ships, all with their various unique forms. And that's about it. The graphics fit the game. Nothing really more on that. I would like to make a point, as per performance, you will notice some bad things about performance here. While the game does preload almost all of its required assets in order to make loading as minimal as possible, as you saw, the game does have a bit of a frame rate issue. Because there are so many ships on screen, so many particles, things start to slow down if you have a big fight going on. The reason this is an issue is that I'm having slowdowns on a machine that's able to run the newest games on highest settings, so an indie game like this should not cause graphical slowdowns. Your mileage may vary, it will depend on what settings you're using and how many people are on the screen at once, but it's something you're gonna notice. Now, what's the game selling for? On Steam, you're gonna notice it for $14.99, and it's worth the $14.99. I don't know if I'd pay anything more than that. It should be noted that the game was made by 2 people. Just 2 people. And for a 2-person effort, this game is frankly good. That said, taken with other games, I wouldn't really pay all that much more than that. It's a good entry into this type of game, but it doesn't do anything that makes it worth more. It does a lot, but doesn't excel enough. Now I'm going to add another qualifier to these reviews, and that is the hamburger rating. A friend of mine is not amazingly well off, and he doesn't have a lot of money, but he likes to buy games. And what he's told me is that at McDonald's, he can spend $1 to buy himself a hamburger. And that hamburger will keep him fairly happy for about an hour, because he gets to eat, and then he feels full. If any given game does not give him an hour's worth of entertainment for every dollar he spends on it, it was not a good purchase. Thankfully, SPAZ does fit the hamburger rating scale. It does get a full thumbs up there. I have spent about a good 30 hours on this game. I'm not sure if replayability is going to be anything you get to worry about at all, but especially for completionists, there are a lot of things to do. You have multiple planets to explore, factions to work with you, you have an amazing amount of abilities to level up, and lots of blueprints to collect, buying them or just getting them from missions. So, there are a lot of things to do. And overall, the game is fairly good. So, you might want to look into it if it is the type of game that you're interested in, if you are interested in the top-down shooter style. This is Nye, signing off.